guys, what's up? Welcome back. So today we're going to be testing out a new shade in the Born This Way foundation, and if you are not familiar with what just happened, Jackie Aina just collabed with Too Faced to create more shades in this foundation. So I picked up the shade Chai, and this is the shade that she uses, and I tend to use the same shades as she does in foundations. So if there's ever a foundation that I've never tried, or if there's a foundation that I have been wanting, I just don't know what shade I'm in, if she mentions that foundation, like if she puts it in the description with the shade, I get it. So it actually makes my foundation shopping easier because I know whatever shade she uses, I'm pretty much that same shade. So you guys know the Born This Way foundation has been out for a while now. I think it's been about 3 years now, 4 years. I think the darkest shade was Mahogany, and that's the one that I used in the past. This is very orange on my skin, and I just tried to make it work because the foundation itself is so good. Like, this is a very natural looking foundation. So I used to try my best to make this work and to make it look, you know, presentable on the skin. So I would mix it with other foundations. I would use concealers that would mesh well with it. So it was definitely a process trying to make this shade work. So when I heard that Jackie was collabing with Too Faced to create more shades in this foundation, girl. So of course I had to get one for myself to see how this shade is gonna look on my skin. Since Jackie Aina uses it and since it looks absolutely beautiful on her, I figured, okay, this is gonna work for me. So I went ahead and got this, and then to my surprise, today the PR box was at my front door. So I have this huge box filled with all of the shades. I'm not gonna pick it up too much because I know I'm gonna drop it, but all of the shades are in here, and they also included the new setting powders. They came out with 2 new shades. Ooh. They came out with 2 new shades in the setting powder, which I've already taken out of the box. So they have the translucent deep, and they also have the translucent medium. So I'm gonna be putting one of these to the test in today's video as well. And I also cannot wait to share my thoughts on this new shade as well as my thoughts on the new setting powder. So if you guys are interested in seeing this demo, then let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so my skin is prepped and ready for makeup application. So for the primer, I use the Too Faced Hangover Primer. This is my favorite primer of all time. I really love how it makes my skin feel tacky, and it does make my foundation wear all day long on the skin, and it just makes everything look flawless. So I've already applied this. So before we get into the foundation, I do want to spot conceal. I'm gonna use the new Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer. I actually did a full review on this concealer. I swatched a lot of shades, so if you guys haven't seen that video, I'm gonna have the video down below in my description. But for spot concealing, I've been using the shade Toffee lately. So anywhere on the face that I have you know, dark spots, I just use it to just go over it and then blend it out, you know, all of that. Now what I do wish is they came out with more shades in this concealer. All right, so now that we have spot concealed the face, it looks pretty even. You can actually, like, this can be a good everyday look. If you wanted to just spot conceal the face and then go over it with a powder, you can definitely do that. That is what I usually do when I go to work. I mean, this little step that I just did, if I'm not using a foundation stick, which y'all know that is what I use when I go to work. I just use a foundation stick, or if not that, I'll use a concealer just to spot conceal the face and then go on top of that with the powder. But this, like, you can definitely do this and just be done. First, I want to show you guys the foundation that I used before, and that is in the shade Mahogany. So I'm going to show you guys what the differences looks like on my skin. It's very, very orange, but I found myself trying to make it work. So there it is right there. Whoa, look at that. That is crazy. This right here is 1 pump. I wouldn't even use this much on the skin because it was so orange. I would just use a small amount and then blend it out, and I felt like it worked after I got done applying concealer and then my powder. I just felt like it worked, but it wasn't my perfect match. So I just wanted to show you guys what Mahogany looks like on my hand. And then let me go ahead and swatch for the first time the shade Chai. Whew, can't wait. Pump some out. All right. So there is Chai. There's both of those. All right, so this is about to be very interesting. I am excited to try out Chai. So let's go ahead and apply that on the face. Now that I have it on my hand, put it on the face. I'm actually gonna just start out using one pump of this foundation so you guys can see how it blends out on the skin. I'm gonna take my beauty sponge. This is from Kashuk, Sonia Kashuk, and you can get this, y'all, this is, like, where'd it go? But I was saying you can get this sponge from Target. Shook. All right, so this is one layer of the foundation. What I love about the Born This Way foundation is it does not look cakey on the skin. It literally looks like skin, like your skin, but better. And I live for that look. Like, I live for it. It just looks, it doesn't even look like I put on foundation. And the fact that I finally have a shade that literally looks like my skin tone in this foundation, girl. I'm gonna put one more layer on the skin because I want a full beat today. So we're gonna do one more layer. What I also love about this foundation is the more you layer it, you would think it will look more cakey on the skin, but it does not. It still gives you that your skin but better look, which is what I am all about, especially now since it's so hot outside. I want to, like, when I'm wearing makeup, I want the foundation to look natural. I don't want it to look cakey. I don't want it to look like it's, you know, too much. I just want it to look as natural as possible. And that is what I love about this foundation. All right, so this is the second layer. It definitely looks like more coverage on the skin, but it still does not look like I have on a ton of foundation. So it still looks very skin-like. It doesn't look cakey. It just looks very natural on the skin, which I love. I love this foundation. I'm so glad that I finally have my shade in the foundation. So for my concealer, again, I'm going to be taking the Born This Way Full Coverage Concealer. This is in the shade Chestnut. Remember I said in the video where I did a full review on these, I used the shade Maple for my under eye concealer. But since I have been trying these out the past week, I have been loving this shade better for my under eye concealer. And it's a little more warm than Maple. Maple is a little light, a little cool, but this one is more of a warm shade. All right, so for setting powder, they did come out with 2 new shades in the Born This Way setting powder. They came out with the shade, this is Translucent Medium. So this one is a little bit darker. It kind of reminds me of a banana setting powder. It's a really like a golden type color. And then of course they have the original translucent setting powder, and then they came out with a translucent deep. I think I'm gonna try out the new shade today. So we're gonna use medium. So this one, I think, just from looking at it, I haven't even poured it out yet to see what the shade looks like. So this is a little deeper than a banana setting powder. It's more golden, if you guys can see. But I do want to try this out and see if I like this better than the translucent. So I'm going to apply this under the eyes. So I'm just going to take my sponge to apply this powder. All right, so the color isn't that bad. I really thought it was going to be a little bit darker, but it's actually the perfect shade. It doesn't look as light as the translucent. It's actually the perfect shade for my skin tone. So I am Okay, I like this. Now I'm just gonna go over my face with a little bit of my MAC Mineralized Skinfinish just to set everywhere else on the face. Alright, so far, so good. The shade match is perfect. The setting powder is really nice. Everything looks very flawless on the skin. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and speed through the makeup application so that way you guys can see how I create a very simple and easy look. And yes, so let me go ahead and do that and we will be right back.
We about to turn it on.
Alright, so this is what it all looks like after everything is done. I hope you guys like this look that I created. I feel like this is definitely screaming fall time, even though it's like the middle of summer, but it's okay. Alright, so now let's talk about the foundation and also the new colors and the setting powder. So with the foundation shade, I am impressed. You guys saw in the video that I applied 2 layers of this. Even the first layer, it looked really good, but I just wanted to have that extra coverage, and even after applying that second layer, it still looked very natural on the skin. So if you guys have been on the hunt for a good foundation that you can actually build up to have a full coverage, but it still doesn't look like you have on a ton of foundation, then definitely try this out. And the fact that we have more shades in this foundation, yes. So all in all, I think it's really good. I think it looks really nice on the skin. Definitely a good foundation to wear all year round. It's buildable and it just makes everything look flawless. Now let's talk about the loose setting powders. So I used the shade medium in today's video. I just used this to set my under eye concealer and also anywhere else on the face where I applied the concealer, and I like this color. I just think the shade is better than translucent, even though translucent is supposed to not show up on the skin, but I feel like this shade does not wash me out as much as a translucent, which I love. But to be honest, I prefer the Peach Perfect setting powder over the Born This Way setting powder because Peach Perfect actually stays matte on my skin all day long. Do I have it near me? Yeah, here it is. So this is the Peach Perfect setting powder. This is the one that I rave about so much on my channel. I talk about this all the time. But I like this one better than the Born This Way. It keeps my concealer in place. It does not allow my concealer to crease. Whereas the Born This Way setting powder, it keeps everything in place. It does set the concealer really nicely, but it doesn't stay, like it doesn't last as long as the Peach Perfect setting powder on the skin. Now, if they came out with more shades in the Peach Perfect setting powder, I would die. I love this stuff. I'm not a huge fan of the shade. This is kind of like a pink, like a light pink peachy shade. But once you apply it on the skin, it does kind of, you know, fade out. You can't really see it. But if they came out with a medium shade in this powder, that is all I would need in my life. But yes, those are all of my thoughts on the new Born This Way foundation shade and also the setting powders. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you are wanting to try out this foundation, let me know what shade you think you are, because I may just slide in your DM and just send you one of these foundations. So let me know. And what else? Oh, the concealer. If you have already tried the concealer, let me know your thoughts on this as well. You guys know I really love to know your thoughts on anything that I share on my channel. So let's go ahead and chit chat down below in the comments. So yes, I think that is all that I have for this video. I do want to say a huge congratulations and also a huge thank you to Jackie for thinking about all of us in this collab. I've never seen anything done like this, and the fact that Too Faced was open to allowing her to create more shades in such an amazing foundation just really speaks a lot. So I do want to say thank you to Jackie, and also thank you to Too Faced for letting this happen. And yeah, so I think that is all that I have for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you thumbs it up for me. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.